Hello, I'm Peter Marzano. Come on, Gab.
Just tell me you have stuff.
Okay, ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, I'm Peter Marzano. Come on, Gabby. Seriously.
Go!
Because then you said 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello,
Go!
You said 5.
Hello, I'm Peter Marzano.
This is Gabby Marzano.
And we're back
back.
to discuss the Hawks as they head into the home stretch of the postseason.
And look what has happened, where we're at, and what we think.
Now, the Hawks just have 18 games left in the season. Just 7 of them are at home. Now, what's going to happen within the next 18 games is something that we don't know. And I just made a rhyme there. Now, the real point is that the Hawks are 7-1-2 in their past 10, and they're riding a 6-game win streak. Now, why is it taking this Hawks team, they're the defending Stanley Cup champions, so long to heat up?
Because I think the Hawks lost some of their players that had character. For example, like Andrew Ladd, Chris Versteeg, and Justin Bufflin.
Yeah, I mean, those players really had they had an impact on a team, those role players. And, Stan Bowman really hasn't got that much in return. Victor Stahlberg, he's been a big disappointment. I mean, it's sort of important to have those players on your team because it seems that they almost fill in that void to win a Stanley Cup like they did last year. So, who do you think have been the disappointments so far this year?
Dave Bowen and Marian Hossa.
I have to agree. At the beginning of the year, I actually remember saying that Dave Bowen was going to be a key part to this team if he could step it up. And I think that when Dave Bowen and Marian Hossa step it up, the team seems to be lifted. Marian Hossa, when he scores 2 points in the game, the Hawks have only lost once. So that means that Marian Hossa is really putting a big impact on the team when he's actively scoring. And so, if Marian Hossa continues to step it up, this team will be ready for a dangerous playoff run. Jonathan Toews has been the hottest player since the All-Star break. He scored 63 points on a team. He's leading the team in scoring. So Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook have seemed to have been a little bit of a disappointment since Duncan Keith won the Norris Trophy last year. Now, what do you think about Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook and how they've actually been split up at some points in the season?
You're asking me these questions and you expect me to know them. Sometimes I even think about the Hawks that they should be wearing dresses out there on the ice because I've never seen a team get picked on that much.
Yeah, it's been quite a problem really for the Chicago Blackhawks team. Physicality is always needed, but when they have those enforcers like Ben Eager and Adam Burrish that were always out there, they were able to be on that fourth line and get those hits. So Stan Bowman picks up a guy like John Scott, the toughest player in the league, and he's so tough that no one on the ice wants to fight him. What do you think about John Scott and how he has made that impact? And when he does fight, he completely destroys everyone he fights. Is that a problem with this team? Do you think that the Hawks need to be more physical?
Well, since we lost a lot of our big fighters like Ben Eager and Colin Frazier and all of our tough guys, well, John Scott is one of the biggest fighters, so some of our other players on the Hawks, on our team, should pick it up and be more physical.
And it seems that John Scott was picked up by Stan Bowman since he was one of the toughest players in the league. But when he's on the ice, everyone's afraid to fight him because he has basically destroyed everyone he has fought. And Joel Quenneville, on the other hand, because John Scott isn't a very good player, is afraid to play him. So if we look at other acquisitions that we've had throughout the year, Michael Frolik, who is a recent acquisition in place of Jack Skilly. What do you think about Jack Skilly heading out of town?
Well, I think kind of good because the only thing he was good for was his skating. He can skate, but he's not coordinated enough to keep the puck with him as he skates. When he skates with this puck, if he's on a breakaway, he will lose it, and then the team will get it, and there's a score for them. Goal.
Yeah, it just seems that Jack Skilly is sort of like a headless chicken when he's skating. He doesn't seem to really have that much finesse and the fundamentals when he's playing. And I think that was a big problem for Jack Skilly, who, if many people can't remember, was a 7th overall pick in 2005. So there were always big expectations for him, but I think in the end it was important to move on from Jack Skilly. And Michael Frolik has, even though he's only scored 1 goal so far, which was last night, he seems to have made more of an impact on the ice. He's been able to create some plays, so I think that's mainly good for this team. So let's look back at our Cup predictions that we made back in the fall. I predicted the LA Kings and the Pittsburgh Penguins. The LA Kings have actually been heating up lately, but it doesn't seem like that's too likely anymore. I mean, looking at this Hawks team finally heating up, it seems that no other team wants to face them in the playoffs. So what was your prediction at the beginning?
Prediction was last fall that it was going to be the Chicago Blackhawks in the Stanley Cup facing the Pittsburgh Penguins.
So far, the 2 top teams in both of the conferences are the Canucks and the Flyers. Now, I'm sort of reluctant to believe that the Canucks can make a run at the Cup. So, in the West, I'm going to say the Chicago Blackhawks are going to advance to the Stanley Cup Finals. It's sort of a tough prediction, but I think it is possible since they're the team that no one wants to face in that conference. And in the East, I'm going to go with a rematch of last year, saying the Philadelphia Flyers will return to the Stanley Cup Final. And with Chris Versteeg on the ice playing for a different team, it's going to create some more tension out there. So, Gabby, what's your pick?
For the West side, I am going to pick the Chicago Blackhawks. And for the East side, I am going to pick the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I think I'm sticking with the Chicago Blackhawks, and they're going to bring home another cup to Chicago.
As far as my prediction goes, I mean, I see that both of these teams have potential to win the Cup, but this year I think Philadelphia could pull away with it. Not trying to be pessimistic, but like I said, 18 games left in the regular season. Anything can happen. So this has been Peter Marzano,
Gabby Marzano.
and good luck to the Chicago Blackhawks.